Hey, welcome back to Growers Direct. This is Darren Lee, and this year we're really going to focus on some of the plants that are the easiest in the world to propagate and make great landscaping plants, as well as selling these things as either started plants or adult plants. We're going to start today with the oleander, right? And most of these plants, a lot of these plants, you may already have growing in your yard. Your friends may have them growing. And the oleander plant, I'm just going to come back here. I'm going to shape this a little bit, take a few cuttings off of here, and we'll show you how to propagate oleanders. So get this just shooting out here like that. All right, cutting this plant back like this, just going to make it thicker, fuller, and when it starts to bloom, it'll just be a solid bloom of red. And these plants, the oleander, you hear a lot about the toxicity of this plant, and I think that is way overrated. I mean, we've had kids, we've had dogs, we've had horses. Matter of fact, my horse picks the plant up out of the ground and then literally just drops it. I'm not worried about the facts. Matter of fact, probably half the plants that we have in our landscape has some type of toxicity to it. So here in a second, I'll show you what we do with these, and we'll be right back. All right, so all we're gonna do with these oleanders is we're gonna cut just below one of the leaf nodes, and we'll trim the leaves up about there. I normally put 2 nodes under the dirt, and then 2 nodes over the dirt. Soil. Dirt's what you get on your jeans, as my ag teacher would say. All right, and then you'll cut just above the node on the next one. Put that off. All right, we'll set that aside. All right, let's get a few of these. As you can see, it's a nice, these are all hardy reds that we're propagating today. All right, now, once we get those cut, we're going to take and cut off a significant portion of the leaves so that the plant doesn't dry out. It doesn't have any roots, remember, to uptake, but it does need those little solar panels to keep generating energy, which will develop the roots. And then when you've got the roots, you can grow out your leaves. But these aren't really necessary that you use the rooting hormone. And this is just the take root. You find that in Lowe's. All of your big box stores have it, but it does seem to help a little, but not required. And I'll just keep going around this pot. Now this pot just has regular play sand. At the very bottom of this pot, I put a little bit of pine shavings in there just to keep the sand from pouring out the bottom. And in about 6 to 8 weeks, these little suckers, they'll all have roots. So we'll show you that and how we plant those. We're going to just take that and move it up to a small pot. And once it starts to fill that small pot with roots, then we'll pot it. And you can sell these rooted cuttings for $5 to $6 a piece. At a year old, we sell them for about $8 to $10, and then at 2 years old, they sell for about $20. Or we can populate with one oleander tree. I can get enough cuttings to do 50 more oleanders around the place. So if you've really got a big landscaping project, and that's how all this started out. This is how you can get multiple plants from the same variety. So when we go to a nursery store and we're looking for a plant, we're looking for the plant that has the most potential cuttings off of it. And so I don't mind spending $40 for a plant or $50 for a plant if it's a plant that I can propagate, because it's easily worth it. You can take that one plant and create hundreds of other plants from that. And we call those mother plants. But we'll see you back here. For you, it's a few minutes. For us, it's a couple of weeks. It'll actually be about 6 to 8 weeks for these to get real good roots. And and we can get about 20 of these in a pot. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put this in our greenhouse. I'm not actually going to put this, and that's what we used to do all the time, is we had a clear tote. It has a clear lid, clear sides, lets ambient light in, and we would put them in there, and we could get about 6 of these pots in there. So just doing the math, right? 20 pots that we can propagate in that one tote. It took me how long to do that? And I do probably 100, 150 of these things in an hour. So the math is good. And that's how we started our nursery. So I'll catch you in a few minutes and we'll show you what the end result looks like. All right, so in about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, this is what you're gonna end up with. And in the sand, when they start to grow roots, they hold on to the soil. And so we call it a little pull test. We pull up on these things, and if they pull straight up, you know, they're not ready, stick them back down and keep going. But as I'm pulling on these things, and they all feel pretty stuck. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna pull them out, I'm gonna dump them. And this is one of the reasons that I primarily use sand. And then they are so easy to get out. And look at all those roots. But that sand just allows these things to come apart. You just keep turning it and dropping it, turning it and dropping it. Not on the stalks, but on the roots. And these went a lot longer, but man, you can tell we got a good take on all of these. And so as we pull more of this stuff out, start separating them out there a little bit. There we go. You don't want to pull too hard on the roots because you're just gonna tear roots. It's better to kind of shake it apart. But these are all viable plants. And it's just not that uncommon to get 100% take rates when you're doing these. Just kind of tease them apart there. There you go. And man, if you can do this when they're dormant, I think it would be better. Now, even doing them in a non-dormant state, we still end up with, that one didn't end up with a lot of roots, but he did end up with some. So we'll just take these apart. Yeah, I'll call it 99%. We did have that one, he didn't have a lot of roots, but the rest of these things have fantastic roots on them. Tease them apart there. All right, now all we've got to do, we're going to upgrade these things to their own little houses. They've certainly earned the right. Fill that pot about halfway up. That one's a little big for this pot. You know, so I'm going to grab, I think I'm actually going to step up one size for a lot of these. Stick those in there. Throw you some good. And then shake them. And believe it or not, that shaking is a huge part of this, and that it really works that soil down into the roots. And the final process with that would be to label these things with what you planted. Now, we can tell by looking at the leaves that it's an oleander. We can't tell by looking at the leaves is what color of oleander. They come in whites, they come in reds, they come in hardies, they come in tropicals. So trying to make sure, and don't write them in with your standard Sharpie. I promise you, you'll regret that. It takes about 2 months to regret it because all your ink will absolutely fade away, and you'll have no idea. And you can't sell a plant that you don't know what variety of plant that is, what cultivar it is, what color it is, whether it's hardy or non-hardy. All of that will go into the description of your ad. But that's it, man. That's how easy it is to grow 20 oleanders just by doing the pruning on one bush. So catch you on the next episode, and check out our video on opening our nursery. We finally got that opened, and would love to tell you how we did it.